Hiya. So it's me again. And the last video had absolutely wonderful feedback, so I'm very appreciative of that. And today is going to be a follow-up to that video. It's going to be directed towards my lovely early game players. It's going to be focused on the event rewards and basically how to use them and how to get them, because a lot of the events are confusing to a degree, so I'm going to uncover all of that and hopefully give you guys an idea as to how to use your rewards and get the most out of them. So yeah, keeping the intro short. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, and sub, or I will literally eat your mesos faster than Star Forcing does. Thanks. So the first and probably the most important event, I would say, whether you want to make an Explorer main or not, is the Explorer Redux, just because of the sheer amount of rewards that it gives. So when you create a new Explorer, which I highly suggest that you Tera burn when you first open the game, you get two specific kinds of rewards. There's one branch that is for all Explorers. Basically, it's a daily gift that you can claim, and each time it gives you cosmetic stuff so that you don't look like a troll who lives under a bridge, but I digress. The All Explorers section is for Explorers, rewards that you can claim once a day. And the New Explorers is, well, you guessed it, for new Explorers that you create and level up. And as you level up, you get really good rewards that can seriously make this character very strong at a very early stage. And whether you make an Explorer your main or not, I still think that going through the time to get all these rewards is more than worth your time. Because you can turn this character into a bossing mule, or just get 20 free dollars and a free Absolab weapon. So, yet again, so we'll just go through the rewards. So at level 100, you'll get a title. And that title helps you through the early game and getting to level 200. It gives you 30 Star Force, which allows you to access Star Force maps at a much earlier stage. 10 all stats, 10 attack, HP, and XP, which I think is super nice. Definitely makes it a lot easier, so, you know, easing into your link skills and stuff like that isn't, you know, that big of a deal, right? The next reward at 150 is the Trait Boost Potion. Now, with Trait Boost Potions on a new character, I always suggest, always 100%, put it into Charm, get your Charm to level 30, because when you get your Charm to level 30, if I could speak English, you basically unlock a quest in your event tab that's called Excessively Charming, and when you finish that quest and get your Rose Clipping, you will basically unlock your pocket slot, which I think is really good for the early game, because you can fill the slot with the Pink Holy Cup, which is just free stats, and it's a free slot in the boss set, which just is even more stats. But part of the reason why the boss set is so good early is because it gives you extra IED and extra boss on top of the stat that it already gives, which is in and of itself a big boost towards building a character in the early game. The next reward at level 180 is XP coupons. So every week on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can extrapolate that time to your time zone. You can basically open this box and get 10 2x EXP coupons that last 15 minutes each. So you'll get 2.5 hours of 2x experience every week. At level 200, you get one of the best rewards, the Adventure Support Box, which gives you 50 symbols and 20 node stones, and this stacks on top of the Tera burning rewards. So the amount of node stones that you get from the early game just for leveling up is quite a bit. Level 205 experience node stones, always nice. You can use these to level up your class-specific 5th job skills, for example, Hammers of the Righteous or Grand Guardian on Paladin. All of my 5th job skills right now are level 10, and I have not spent a single node on my account to level these up. And my boost nodes are level 9 and level 8 respectively. So, yeah. Pretty good stuff there. Level 10, or level 210, sorry, you get more symbols and more node stones. Fairly good for leveling up. Experience node stone some more, and then when you hit level 220, you get the Absolab box. I always suggest that you stay away from the Dominator Pendant. I'll go over that in just a second when I talk about burnings and stuff. But always the Absolab box. You get a unique emblem box, which means that you don't actually need to rank up your emblem because you'll get one for free. 20,000 NX or Maple Point. The only difference between Maple Point and NX is that NX you can use reward points towards your purchases to reduce the cost of what you're buying. And then another 200 symbols. Now, ideally, all of these items are untradeable, so you want to be using these on the Explorer that you get them on. Besides the Absolab, I'm pretty sure the Absolab box is tradable, but ideally you do want to use it on the Explorer anyways. Now, all of these rewards are fairly straightforward except for the boxes. Now, the reason why the boxes are important is because they give arcane symbol selectors. And arcane symbol selectors are very, very good for when you hit level 220 because you can instantly get your Lachlan symbol up to level 9. And considering that Lachlan is one of the harder regions to level up, I suggest that you take the time to just blast to level 220, even if the mobs are hard to kill, and use all of your symbols on your Lachlan symbol. The reason for this is because the Vanishing Journey region and the Choo Choo Island region level up significantly faster than Lachlan when you first unlock it. So if you are looking to make an Explorer, you know, your main, and you're looking to progress into the late and end stages of the game, you don't want to time gate yourself by, you know, using the symbols for Vanishing Journey or Choo Choo. Because if these level up to the max, you're still going to be held back by Lachlan and the other symbols that come after it. So that's why I suggest that you use the symbols on Lachlan, so that when you are maxing your arcane symbols, they hit their max level relatively near the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Explorer Redux. There's the new Explorer rewards, which can only be claimed on a new Explorer as you level up, and then the All Explorer rewards, which gives you cosmetic items once per day. I will say though, the pet is fairly nice, so if you're just starting out, this is an easy way to get a pet on your main character. But yeah, most of it is transferable stuff, cosmetics. But yeah, this event super broken for early game players, especially if your main is going to be an Explorer. Okay, so the next event to mention, as I've stated just slightly earlier, is the Tera Burning event ×3, because you get 3 of them this event. So you pretty much get 3 free characters to level 200, which I think is absolutely huge. And these characters that do get to level 200 are going to be swole. Actually swole, because the Tera Burning event does give you rewards as you progress to level 200. Aside from just the extra 2 levels that you get with every level past level 10. So, what are those rewards? At level 30, you get a level 30 generic equipment box. Ideally, you just want to open that and use it. There's nothing really interesting about that. Same with the level 100 equipment box. It does give you the Frozen set, which is fairly good until level even 200. I could see people using this equipment until level 200. The only issue is that it gets overshadowed by the next box that you get, which is level 150, which gives you temporary Chaos Root Abyss equipment. This temporary equipment obviously comes with epic potential and 12 stars, so you don't need to worry about getting potential on these pieces, and they are fairly strong because the set effect all the way up until the 4-set effect pretty much ensures that you'll be able to clear anything in the early game. Things like Hard Von Leon, Chaos Horntail, any of that is going to be a breeze when you do have this equipment on and you are level 200. Realistically, there's not many rewards besides that until you hit level 200. So once you hit level 200, you'll gain a title that makes progressing into the Arcane River a lot easier. It gives you 15 all stats, 15 attack, 10 boss, 10 IED, 10% XP, and the big one being 50 whole Arcane Force. The reason why 50 Arcane Force is good, I've explained this 100 times. It basically gives you the damage you need to do the maximum amount of damage in the early regions of the Arcane River. Very solid title. At level 200, you also get 30 node stones, which will help level up your abilities as you first start in Vanishing Journey. And because it's Destiny, the first level 200 you hit gives you a Tera character Burninator. When you get to level 200, there's going to be another quest in your event tab called like Tera Burninator something characters for all something words in English, right? But it'll be over here when you get your first character level 200. And yeah, basically it's an item that you can transfer to your storage or through your account, and you can use this Tera character Burninator. It's so much of a mouthful. On another character. Ideally, you want to be using this Tera character Burninator at level 10 so that you get the full effects of the Tera character Burninator. So when you do hit level 200 on your first character, you can start your next burning. But that item does have a duration, so you can use it a little bit ahead of time if you do want to, space it out and give yourself some breathing room. Depending on how much you play or how much time you have to play. For me, I'm doing my burnings one at a time, so after I finished my Paladin to level 220, I'm now starting my Corsair and I'm getting that to level 220 as well, and when I finish that, I'm gonna do my Ho Young. But yes, the Tera character Burninator has its own separate rewards from the Tera burn that you get from character creation. You can claim those rewards once on each the Tera character Burninator and the character event screen. So, or the character creation screen, sorry. So my Paladin was the burn from the character creation screen. This is the first burn that I did. And I got my free Absolab weapon and my temporary CRA, along with the nodes and level up rewards that I got. And my Corsair also has the same rewards. I haven't gotten my Absolab's weapon yet though, because it's not level 220. But I digress. So you can get one set of rewards through the character creation screen, and then one through the Burninator. I'm pretty sure the second one doesn't have its own rewards. It's just for the level 200. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, so after you hit level 200, so you get that title, you get and you get 30 node stones. When you hit level 205, you get another 60 node stones, which, yet again, as I was explaining before, if you're creating a new character and your main is going to be an explorer, you can stack it on top of these boxes that give you even more nodes. When you hit level 210, you get an Eternal Flame Ring that comes with 40 stat and 25 attack. And it also comes with a unique potential. Luckily, mine just rolled into 2-line strength as I got it. But this ring is very powerful. It's equivalent to a normal ring at 17 stars. So for example, I don't even have a ring that can reach 17 stars right now. But for example, the Solid Gollux ring or the Meister ring at 17 stars is equivalent to this Eternal Flame ring. If you do throw a couple Master Craftsman cubes on it to get 1 or 2 lines of potential for your main stat, it's definitely worth your time. But yeah, this ring at level 210 is very good. At level 215, you get level up potions. There's 4 options. There's 8 potions between level 200 and 209. 4 potions from level 210 to 219. 2 potions from 220 to 230. And then 1 potion from 230 to 240. This obviously goes in conjunction with the fact that XP doubles every 10 levels you hit. So the XP from level 210 is double of what it was from level 200, so on and so forth. But for those potions, I always suggest that you get the level 215 to... level 210 to 219 potions. Because it makes your life getting to 220 a lot easier. And as you do start to hit Lachlan, ideally you want to be slowing down. And farming there gives you a lot more XP, so the potions don't really have as much of an effect as they do through the earlier levels. And then there's the level 220 reward, and I know a lot of people are asking this question. You have the choice between a Absolab weapon box and the Dominator pendant box, so I am just going to cover this in full detail now because this is a part of the event rewards. Should I claim the Absolab weapon box or the Dominator pendant box? And for each of these items, they both come with unique potentials that you cannot change and a set amount of stars that you cannot change either. So if I were to try to enhance this Absolab Broadhammer, it will not let me. Now, because everything in terms of its enhancements is locked, the only thing that you can get out of these items is the power that you gain from them in the current, the current state that you get them in. And when you compare the Absolab Hammer to the Dominator Pendant, which is at 15 stars, I can only 99.9% of the time suggest the Absolab weapon. This is truly a weapon that you can use pretty much until you get an actual Absolab weapon to 17 stars and a very solid potential, because 9 damage, 35 boss, and that extra 10 crit rate for early game players is actually massive. This weapon, through its 17 stars, its potential, and the fact that you can flame it for attack, is very strong. Not only that, it's also considered to be a part of the Absolab set, which makes your life a lot easier when you're first piecing that Absolab set, because you don't need to get all of the coins for the Absolab weapon, which is much harder to get than any of the other pieces. The Absolab weapon needs 2.5 times, or sorry, yes, so no, wait, yes, 2.5 times a normal item. The Absolab weapon, you can't go wrong with it, and it's permanent. You can use this pretty much for as long as you like. It's very good for bossing mules and for mains when you're first starting out. This item is so much better than the Dominator Pendant. The reason why I can't suggest the Dominator Pendant is because it's 15 stars, which means that you don't get the added attack from the 16th and the 17th star. Its potential is something that is not as important as the boss and damage that you get here, because it only gives you 2 lines of stat, which is something you should be piecing together in the early game through your Chaos Root Abyss equipment and just other equipment that you get from the boss set. Not only that, the Dominator Pendant is not something that you can is not something that you can or want to transpose at 15 stars, and the flaming for the Dominator Pendant is much worse than the Absolab weapon, because you can't get attack on it, or at least, a decent bit of attack on it. You can only get up to 6, while up to here, depends on your weapon, but it goes off of your base attack. It goes off a percentage off of that, but ideally you should be hitting roughly like 60 to 80 base attack, unless if you're using gun or claw, because their base attack is much lower than standard weapons. But yes, Absolab weapon 99.9% of the time Even if your character already has an Absolab weapon, you can transfer that box, give it to another character, and make their leveling a lot easier, because you can start using this Absolab weapon at level 160, and getting that amount of damage at level 160 is just absolutely massive. But yeah, so you get 1 burn from the character screen, 1 burn after you hit level 200, and then there's also the Explorer Redux Get Your Gifts quest. And I don't know why this is here, or who is actually eligible for these rewards, but if you do have this, there's another Tera character Burninator in here. And once again, it's the same thing as the other 2 Burninators, an extra 2 levels every time you level from level 10 to 200. I don't know if the rewards can be claimed here, like the Absolab weapon and the leveling rewards. Please comment down below if that's actually the case. But yeah, Burninators, absolutely broken. Ideally, you want to be getting the characters to level 220 when you do Tera burn them to get the most out of, you know, the Tera burn, because Tera burn is something that hardly ever comes, and it's super rare. Not only is it good for your Legion, but it's also good for building your account. Okay, so the biggest event of them all, that can fit any account of any size and any progression, is the Starlight Symphony event. The reason why this event is so good is because you can get a slew of rewards. I'll go over them soon and what you should be focusing on at specific stages of the game. But yeah, this event also has a passive weather effect. Every XX30, so every time it's 230, for example, you'll get an XP buff, or every time it's 330, you'll have more damage against the bosses when you do take a visit to the event location. Now, in order to access the event, I'm pretty sure you have to be level 101 or level 141. Either way, it's fairly low level. You should be able to access the event. I've already done it on this character and pretty much all the characters that I have been, you know, playing ever since the Destiny update. But essentially, bracket Starlight Symphony, that first quest is what you want to accept. And just skip through the dialogue if you don't want to read it. If you want to, go ahead, that's up to you. But when you do finally get to the event lobby, there's another quest that you should accept. One being the Starlight Chariot quest, which opens this menu over here, which gives you access to, you guessed it, rewards for your account. Okay, so Akat from the future here. I forgot to actually showcase what was in the Starlight Chariot and the rewards that you can get. And so after you actually cap your coins and you do clear all the missions to get 300 out of 300, every day you can click the Starlight stamp. And when you do, it adds 1 towards your progress in filling this chart. Okay, I thought my game just crashed. And on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, you actually get 2 stamps instead of 1. But the rewards in this shop are especially potent for, I would say, you know, players who are a little more into the game. But either way, there is a lot of good stuff in this shop. To start off, you get 10 extreme growth potions, which is good for leveling characters that are between 140 and 200. This is just a bunch of free level ups. Next is the symbol selector coupon. Obviously, select the symbols that are best for you. If you have a character that's over level 260, get sacred symbols. If you don't, then arcane symbols. Experience node stones. I don't think I need to say much about these. 1 of 3 event ring selector coupons. Now, if you are going to be claiming these on the same character, just make sure that when you are selecting a ring that they are different rings. Do not get 2 Tenebrous Expedition rings, because you cannot equip both of them at the same time. So either equip or, you know, get a Tenebrous Expedition ring or an Awake ring. Or any combination of 2 that you like. The next reward is Growth Potion Selector, just a bunch of levels once again. Unique Potential Scroll. Ideally, I would use this for mules and weaker characters, or if your main doesn't have a weapon, secondary or emblem to unique, I would use it on that. I would stay away from using this on normal equips like your CRA or any of your accessories. Drip, if you want to change the color of your skin. Same thing as the item back over here, more symbols. And then a level all the way from 249 to 250. If you can wait on these, if you're a new player, the longer the better. Because this is obviously a very useful item that hardly ever comes. And it will save you a lot of time if you do get the maximum value out of it. AKA going from 249 to 250. But you can actually double up the rewards here if you get the Starlight Pass. Or no, sorry, not the Starlight Pass, the Stella Pass. I've already unlocked it. It costs 20,000 NX. But if you use your 20,000 Maple points that you get from the Explorer Redux, you can actually unlock this second segment for free. Yet again, that's up to you if you want this or you want Drip. I'm not going to tell you how to play, because you can also use those Maple points towards getting NX for your characters. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover because I forgot to cover Starlight Chariot. Back to the video. And the other event or other quest that you should be accepting is the Shining Shooting Stars. You can only accept that after you accepted the Starlight Chariot. So do Starlight Chariot first, and then Shining Shooting Stars. Now, I guess I'll go along from left to right, since it's already organized in this way. So one of the things in this event is Starbridge. Now, Starbridge is an event for level 200 plus characters where basically you connect the dots for 3 minutes and it gives you a huge amount of XP. It's usually between 40 to like 15% depending on what level you are. You can do this all the way, I think, until level 230. Realistically, it's not worth your time past level like 225. I don't think. I always suggest that you do this on characters that are between level 200 and 220. But yeah, you can do this twice a day, and it's just free XP for characters that are above level 200. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about this. It's fairly straightforward. In terms of Shining Shooting Stars, this is a passive effect that you gain as you're training. And when you kill a certain amount of mobs, basically shooting stars come from the sky, and when you break these stars, as they land into the floor, you get bonus XP, so it makes, your rates a little better and training a lot easier when you're first starting the game, because you have extra mobs to hit, and you're just getting extra damage. That's definitely nice. So these are pretty much your two events for XP and leveling up for this event. Ideally, the Shining Shooting Stars and the Starbridge are, used best on characters between level 200 and 220, and that's why I highly suggest that you stay away from playing characters that are, level 230 or 240 during this event. But yet again, for new characters, this is definitely amazing. Next, we have the Starlight Melody Shop. Now, this is in conjunction with the Starlight Chariot, so when you finish your missions and participate in some specific events, you'll basically get your coins for this event. So for example, if you defeat enemies near your level, you'll get 50 coins. And there are specific tasks that you can do for the day to cap on your coins. It's 300 every day, and then on Sundays, it's double that. But pretty much in this shop, there is 3 segments, or 3, tabs. So pretty much the first tab is for gear enhancing. The second tab is for character growth and leveling up. And then the third tab is for drip. And drip is eternal, so this is up to you on whether you want to buy stuff here. Nothing wrong with drip. I don't think I need to say much about this. In terms of enhancement, personally what I would do, since I'm directing my guides specifically towards Reboot, the first two items are completely useless. The Epic Potential Scrolls are very strong for early game players, so this is something that I would buy if I was first starting out the game. The same thing with the Gold Potential Stamps. Essentially what the Gold Potential Stamps do is they increase the amount of potential lines that you can get on your equipment. So sometimes when you reveal a potential, a piece of equipment may only have 2 lines, like this for example. And when you use a Gold Potential Stamp, you can unlock a 3rd line. And the reason why that's important is when you start hitting the higher ranks, the 3rd line can net you quite a bit of damage. So for example, in this case, the 3rd line is giving me 6% strength, which is a huge amount. Yeah. So the Epic Potential Scroll and the Gold Potential Stamps I highly recommend for early game players. The Flames, the Karma Rejuvenation, and Karma Eternal are definitely also really good. Personally, if I was just starting out the game, I would only be buying the Red Flames. The Rainbow Flames and the Black Flames are geared towards endgame players and getting the most and min-maxing your flames as hard as possible. So I would personally suggest staying away from these because these are quite expensive and you can use these towards other rewards that'll get you a lot more. Next up are the cubes. Once again, I suggest that you stay away from these. These are usually directed towards regular server players. I think the Master Craftsman cubes are okay for 100 coins. But ideally, I suggest that you only get Master Craftsman cubes through mesos or bossing if you do want to rank your items up from rare to epic. But personally, I would stay away from the Meister cubes. Once again, pretty expensive. Because there are other rewards in the growth section that I will cover that you should be focusing on. Next is the Arcane River Droplet Stones and the Stone Origin Droplet Stones. Now, these are good for any kind of player, whether you're just starting out the game or whether you're an endgame player. Droplets are something that is, you know, you're just gonna have to stumble across them. You need to gather as many as possible because you need pretty much thousands of these to, you know, piece together your endgame set or the Arcane Umbra equipment. For early game players though, if you don't have enough coins and there are other rewards that take higher priority, I think it's fine to do a skip on these, but I highly suggest that you pick them up if you can. And for the last 2 rewards, the 17 star enhancement and the Event Ring exclusive Legendary Potential Scroll, I think the Event Ring Legendary Potential Scroll does have its use case. It is understandable in some regard. But personally, I think the 17 star Force enhancement is a complete skip here. 7,000 coins is just way too much. You do, like, 17 stars is something that you can get within a matter of a week or 2, even in the early game, if you just stay on top of your dailies, stay on top of things that make you meso in the early game, and do take the time to actually try running bosses in the early game, because 100, 200 mil a week is pretty much all you need to progress through the early game, given that you're not substantially unlucky. But yeah, personally, I would skip on this. As tempting as it looks, 7,000 coins is quite a bit, and personally, I think it's a bait. If you have, you know, other opinions, you can feel free to leave them down below. I'll take a second to read them. Maybe, you know, there's good points down there. But yeah. Into the growth section, 2x coupons. You can't go wrong with 2x coupons if you are just farming or you do feel like hitting mobs. You can buy 2 of these a day, so you can get 30 minutes of extra 2x experience for only a fifth of your daily income. Next is the Mysterious Monster Bloom. Now, personally, I really like these. I think Monster Bloom is something that early game players should be investing into, because if you do build your monster collection, you can get a passive income of reward points. And reward points essentially... It's just the wind. Oh my god. Okay, so what was I saying? Yes. Yes, so next is the mysterious Monster Bloom, and personally I suggest these and I like these a lot because if you do roll into good Monster Blooms, you can get a passive income of reward points, and reward points in GMS Reboot can be used towards totems, and totems makes your grinding a lot easier, and I cannot stress that enough. Pretty much twice as fast when you use a totem. It's pretty much like a 2x coupon. It's also good for getting drops and for farming mesos in the early game. If you were to make 100 to 200 mil a totem, that is quite a bit. Considering that, you know, getting mesos and the maps in the early game are very tough to loot and don't have the greatest spawn. Yes, I think Mysterious Monster Blooms are definitely a go ahead and buy because they're not that expensive anyways. Only 600 coins for all three in the shop. Power Elixirs. I think Power Elixirs are decent for 5 coins, or for 50 coins you can get 1,000 Power Elixirs, which is pretty much the best potion in the game. You will pretty much be using Power Elixirs permanently. Power Elixirs are amazing. If you do have a couple coins to spend, why not just buy some Power Elixirs, especially for these squishier classes like Night Lord or Bowmaster. 100 Power Elixirs definitely goes, you know, you definitely get your mileage out of this. Hyper Teleport Rock, one day, I don't suggest it. It's 15 coins, better used towards other things because Hyper Teleport Rocks are fairly cheap to begin with. 20 million mesos, not that much for 7 days. I think it's much more worth than buying 7 of these, which would cost you over 100 Melody coins. Not worth. Skip on the Hyper Teleport Rocks. Pendant Slot Coupon. Sure, it's okay. It's only 7 days though, which I think is kind of rough. Personally, I would just buy these with mesos, but if you do want to buy this, this is okay. Trait Boost Potions. Once again, Trait Boost Potions are back. If you do want to get Trait Boost Potions on your main, and your charm is already level 30, that is totally fine, because you can use the Trait Boost Potions towards Insight, which can give you Ignore Elemental Resist, which is very powerful against bosses. This increases your damage by roughly 5 to 10% if you do max your Insight. But you can also use these Trait Boost Potions on mules to increase their charm to 30, so that you can, you know, obviously get more damage on them. It all depends on how you want to use them. Trait Boost Potions, highly recommend, super nice. Selective 8 slot coupons, I think this is mostly for regular server players. This is a skip for me. Don't buy these. It's better to just get them with Meso instead. If you do fuck up your points somehow, you can always reset them yet again, but I'm assuming that most people won't do this because the auto assign button is very, very in your face. And resetting your abilities doesn't really accomplish much because you can maximize your abilities anyways. Job Advancement Coin. Yet again, Job Advancement Coins are fine. If you're not happy with the job that you picked, you can always branch between the other two in that segment if you are an Explorer. So for example, if I were to play a Corsair and I don't like Corsair, I can switch that Corsair and make it a Cannoneer, for example. Or if I'm playing a Night Lord and I don't like Night Lord and I'm feeling more like Shadower, then I can use the Job Advancement Coin to change between jobs for free. Now, note with the Job Advancement Coin, obviously if you have claimed your Absolab weapon already, you will not be able to get that back. And any sort of nodes that you have used on that specific class is not something that you will be able to use when you switch over. So just keep that in mind. If you are job advancing, try to do it as soon as you hit level 200, rather than after you, get all your equipment. So, yeah, Job Advancement Coin is all about preference. If you do want to change jobs, the option is here for you. Infinite Revitalizers, something I highly suggest, once again, because Infinite Revitalizers gives you more fatigue to craft stuff every day. Crafting is something that you should definitely get into if it's your main, because you can craft useful things like boss potions that give you 20% boss damage. If I could find it, there you go. Or they can craft useful accessories like the Meister Ring, if I can find it, which can be enhanced all the way until 22 stars. This is one of the best rings in the game for that reason. So highly recommend infinite revitalizers so that you can level up your, your professions as fast as possible. Ideally, I would only buy this on my main. I would stay away from this on other characters because realistically, you only need to be crafting on one character. When you do craft those potions, you can move them around, and Meister rings and those kinds of equipment should only be left on your main. Ideally, you should be getting, cheaper and, lower investment rings if you are making a bossing mule or a character that you don't plan to progress very far. There's also character slot expansion coupons. I already have the maximum characters on my account, so this is useless for me. This is also very nice if if you're running out of space on your account. I'm pretty sure the maximum characters that you can get is 52 or 53, so just keep that in mind when, just spam buying these. Then you have recipe slot bags, production bags, scroll slot bags, soul slot bags. I think all of these are good, once again, for your main, besides the scroll bag, because we don't have many scrolls in Reboot. In Reg server, I can suggest this, but not over here. Especially the 40 slot soul bag, this is the big winner. If you could get this will save you a huge amount of inventory space. Highly recommend this one. Production and recipe are also good. Now, to some of the most important items that you should be prioritizing with maximum, with all of your focus, node stones and experience node stones for your main. 100%, this is pretty much the first thing that you should be buying out. 50 node stones and 5 experience node stones, totally worth your time. I cannot suggest this enough. Node stones, 10,000% recommended. Obviously, leveling up your abilities is super important, and it's free damage aside from your gear. Next, Special Medal of Honor is good for your inner ability. I also suggest buying these. Yet again, less of a priority than node stones though, but this is definitely very good for your main. I would buy this if you do have extra melody coins. Personally, I would skip the Chaos Black and Legendary Circulator. The Legendary Circulator can be used for your main if you do want to get instantly to Legendary and save the Honor XP. But personally, its value is not that good considering it's at 4,000. Personally, I would just buy the Special Medal of Honors and just try rolling to Legendary. That's probably the best way to do it, because this is 150,000 XP. This can get you at least 100 to 200 rolls if you are rolling on a sunny Sunday. And then last but not least are your symbols. Now, because I'm only level 220, only the first 3 regions are showing up. But personally, because I'm level 220, I would buy Lachlan over Vanishing Journey or Choo Choo. These are the only 2 symbols I would skip. Arcana as well for my level 225 players. Personally, I would buy Lachlan symbols, Esfera symbols, and Morass symbols. Buy all 3 of these out. Highly recommended. Symbols are also very important. The reason why I say that you stay away from Vanishing Journey, Choo Choo Island, and Arcana is because they level up fast on their own, so they don't need any, extra support, I guess. And you can save those coins towards buying other things that you might deem useful on your account. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the growth and enhance section. Once again, decoration section, all for drip. If you want to have drip, this is the place to get it. If you want damage skins, if you want an outfit, damage skins, some more damage skins. Also a Android coupon. If you do want an Android, you can get one here if you don't want to spend the meso for it. Personally, I would suggest staying away from it and spending the meso instead, because 1,500 is quite a bit. And then obviously chairs for more drip, because who doesn't like drip? Now, the other shop, or the second of the 3 shops, is the meso shop. Now, the meso shop is complete garbage, except for 2 items. The Fairy Heart, which is pretty much your best in slot heart, and I could suggest this for any character on their main bossing mule. This item is absolutely fantastic. It's just a free potential and 8 stars on a piece of equipment. And then the event Android selector coupon, which obviously you use in conjunction with your fairy heart to actually make sure that your fairy heart gives you the stats. Yeah, not much to talk about in the Meso shop besides the fairy heart and the event Android selector coupon. Now, there have been rumors of people saying that OneDroid is coming back. Personally, I would just buy the heart and be done with it forever. Not only that, the reason why I personally like the fairy heart over the OneDroid heart is that you can choose what Android you want, which I think is super, super nice. When you do OneDroid, you are stuck to either Auroroid or Skyroid, or specific, you know, presets of how your androids will look if you are into that kind of thing. But yeah, Meso shop, fairly uninteresting. The flames and everything here is just way too expensive and not worth your time. Next, the Harmony shop. So when you kill bosses above the difficulty of Easy Cygnus, so if you look at your boss content tab, if you kill bosses above Easy Cygnus, so Easy Cygnus, Hard Hilla, Chaos Ping Bean, Chaos Zacum, Normal Cygnus, and beyond, you will get Harmony coins. When you click this, you will say, I want a Harmony coin, and eventually, sorry, that's not the word. When you have killed a boss, it will show a menu, basically saying, you know, asking you where you, like, what bosses you want to select your Harmony coins from. If you are a late to endgame player, you can just select all. I mean, realistically, you do just want to be selecting all and claiming all of your Harmony coins, because the stuff that you can get from this shop is very useful. But if you can get carries for bosses and get more Harmony coins, the more the better, right? But essentially, the Harmony coin shop is fairly simple. There's droplets for the endgame players, and there's flames for the endgame players. But one thing to note for early game players is that the Karma Rejuvenation Flame, or the normal red flame, and the rainbow flame are actually very cheap in this shop, and I highly suggest getting as many of these as possible to flame your equipment, like your Absolab weapon or your Fafnir weapon, to just get a tiny bit of attack on it. Obviously, more on your Absolab weapon, try to go for 60 to 80. But also just getting better flames on your equipment, so when you do get your actual CRA equipment, try to aim for 60 to 80 stat in the early game. But yeah, the flames are very nice. If you do somehow have extra Harmony coins, you can get the droplets as well, because once again, these are used to progress to your endgame equipment. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the shops and the entirety of the Starlight Symphony event. There's a lot of stuff that you can buy, and I think what's so nice about it is that you can pick out what you need. There's different types of currencies and coins that you can use to basically pick out what you need to, you know, progress your account as fast as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Those are all the events right now, and pretty much as far as I can go into detail about the event rewards within a reasonable amount of time. Hopefully that helped, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and sub, or I will literally eat your mesos faster than Starforcing does. Thanks. And my next video, for anybody who is curious, will be a familiar guide. So if you want to know how to work your familiar menu and what you can get out of familiars, please stay tuned and sub. Yeah, that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching.